I love about having a wildlife garden is that it is an oasis here in the town centre for all sorts of wild creatures to come and just be safe and feed and bathe and just be. And it's really exciting because I never know who I'm going to see. I never know who's going to turn up. One day in the summer, I was out in the garden watering the lawn, and suddenly this little fox cub turned up out of nowhere. And it was the most amazing encounter because it came right close to me and it was quite curious. It was looking at me, it was looking at the water, and it was quite breathtaking because I'd only ever seen foxes quite far away in a nature reserve through binoculars, or foxes in my garden. I would spot them through the window, and as soon as they saw me, they would just bolt and run. So to have this curious little confident fox cub right next to me was really exciting. I thought it would have been maybe a one-time amazing one-off encounter, but it wasn't. He came back and he brought his siblings, one brother and two sisters. So when the cubs first came in July, they were really little. I think they'd only just left the den and they were starting to learn how to fend for themselves. And that was a stage where everything intrigued them. When they saw the little windmill spinning around in the garden, they would just sit and stare at it and be so curious and crook their little heads. And everything was fascinating and exciting to them. And they were also teething, so they really wanted things to chew. So they had, for example, nicked my gardening glove. And I thought, right, okay, why not get him a few toys to chew and to play with? So I got them some dog toys from a pet shop, and they absolutely loved the toys and started playing with them a lot. To have the pleasure to spend an hour sitting just still and observing what they do is really, really wonderful because you make so many interesting, surprising discoveries about how they tick. And what has been really fascinating about spending every day with them has been that each of the four has got a completely unique personality. They're all very, very different in how much confidence they have, if they're cautious or if they are daring or quite cheeky. And 2 out of the 4 decided they really liked the garden and they made it their home. And those 2 fox cubs were the little cub that came the first time round, and we called him Freya, and then his little sister that we called Faith. The little boy was called Freya long before we could tell he was a boy, and the name kind of stuck, so he's got a female name. Freya has a quite long snout and pointy face and quite subtle facial markings with a small sort of circular mark on the jaw. He is quite large and he is confident but extremely sweet. And he really loves Faith. Him and Faith always play together. Freya's little sister, Faith, has got very distinct markings. She has a very dark mask on their face, and she has a white-tipped tail, and she's got huge, beautiful eyes. Faith was very, very shy at the beginning. It took a long time till she felt really comfortable with us being around. And Freya and Faith started to come every day to the garden to explore and to play with things they found and later with each other. So the garden became their nursery. It's been a real adventure, an ongoing adventure to watch these fox cubs grow up in my garden. I love it that it happens completely on their own terms. They are wild, they come and go as they please, and it's really wonderful. And you don't have to tame them, but you can just let them be. I make a point of not touching them. They do now come up to me and greet me by sniffing my hand. That lasts maybe a second or two, but I don't reach out and touch them. And when they first came up to me to kind of greet me and sniff my hand, I had shivers run down my spine because I was like, oh, what's going to happen, Could they possibly, are they going to bite me? And all these weird headlines you get in the tabloids went through my head. And I've now spent time with them for almost 4 months, and never once have they come close to biting me or attacking me. They're very gentle animals. But I think this whole story of fox attacked human, it's a bit of an urban myth. And it plays nicely into the hands of those people who do want all foxes killed and consider them vermin, when actually they are so close to, our favourite pets, cats and dogs, and we just kind of put our blinkers on and deny that, and that's very convenient. Sun lounger became Freya's and Faith's new favourite toy when it came out one day. I had no idea how much fun they would have on it. They are just like kids playing on a bunk bed. One would be underneath, playing the prey, playing the mouse, and the one on top would be pouncing up and down, and they would communicate using their paws and their snouts through the sun lounger, and it's so fascinating to see. Faith would be on top, being the predator, and Freya would push with her snout or her paw, pretending to be the underground prey. So in that way, it was play, but he also taught her how to hunt. They have enchanted me. I've been foxed, to watch them and see what beautiful, intelligent, gentle and funny animals they are and how they have unique personalities has made me really appreciate them. And I am videoing them all the time because I like to share those little insights into their life with the world. The foxes really loved the pillows I got them. Not only would they use them to sleep on them, but it became a toy for them. And just like kids, they started to play with them by either sharing their toys or taking their toys away from each other. So one evening, Faith had been sleeping on 2 pillows in the dog bed, and she offered one to Freya. Freya took one pillow and slept on it for a little while. And then probably realized it might be much more comfortable to have a second pillow. So he took it from Faith, who then was at a loose end. There's this saying that the best things in life are free, and I think the best things in life also are a surprise. I've had this garden for 12 years. It's a first this year that I had 4 fox cubs using my garden as their nursery. And that's what I love most about it. It's not something you can buy. You can't book them to turn up. You can't pay money to have this happen. It's just a gift that nature gave to me, and it's just happened to me. And it's wonderful. Freya and Faith became really, really close. They usually met in my garden at the same time every evening, and they would just spend hours foraging for snails together on the lawn or playing with each other, and they would even curl up and sleep right next to each other. That's how close they were and how much they trusted each other. And Freya was also showing a lot of really tender and gentle affection towards Faith. Faith was a little bit oblivious to this. She sometimes just continued to forage or eat, but Freya was just incredibly affectionate towards Faith. It's been really fascinating to watch their journey growing up from young cubs to now juvenile foxes. Yeah, at the beginning they were really curious and excited about everything, but they also were very skittish and easily scared. And now they're much more confident, and they've evolved from playing with toys to playing with each other. And there's a lot of play fighting going on, learning how to stand up for themselves. Freya really put Faith through her paces. It was quite adorable to see how he would sometimes just play submissive towards her to give her confidence and make her believe that she was in control of the situation. And I think he taught her very well to fight and stand up for herself. And he had to teach her because she's very little. She's a dinky little vixen. And he gave her the confidence that she can do it. And this will be so important for Faith, for when she grows up to be a fully grown fox and she will have to defend herself or her territory or her cubs one day. always worry about the foxes because I've read that not a lot of foxes survive even the first year. They are urban foxes. I'm right in the town centre. So obviously, if I don't see them one night, I always think, oh my God, what has happened? Has somebody maybe poisoned them or have they been hit by a car?
Freya kept coming to my garden every day, but suddenly Faith didn't show up anymore. Freya seemed really lost, sniffing everywhere, looking around, waiting for 2 hours in my garden, not playing anymore, and I got really concerned about Faith because it was just not like her not to show up for her play dates with Freya. Eventually, Faith turned up about 3 weeks later after she had gone missing, and she had a big gash on her face, and it was really sad to see. She was okay, it wasn't infected and it didn't need stitches, but it still looked like she'd gotten into a bit of a scrap with someone. Freya was really glad to have Faith back, and they immediately started playing with each other again around the sun lounger, and I was just glad that she was still alive.
Foxes have had so much bad press. A lot of people consider them vermin. Fox hunting goes on all over the country, even though hunting by hounds is banned. But then I go onto Facebook and I see a photo of a vixen that has been pulled to shreds alive by 40 hounds, which is horrible.
But it does happen, and then the hunters claim that it was accidental. And very worryingly, there is talk about revoking the fox hunting ban and re-legalizing it completely this year. So that has me very concerned about the foxes up and down the country.
I very much hope that this journey will continue and I won't have to say goodbye to them sometime soon, because I have grown rather fond of them. I think it's so important we look after our wildlife because it's part of the fabric of life. To have a world without birdsong or foxes or hares or badgers, it would be horrific because they're beautiful animals. You know, there's room for all of them, and once they're gone and they won't come back. And how horrible would it be to tell our children and grandchildren that there are these mythical creatures that once existed like foxes and they're now here no more. It's always with a heavy heart when they leave because I'm always worried about them. But, you know, I'll do what I can to keep them safe here, and I'm always excited and happy when they return and I feel like, okay, they made it. Long may they live, and I hope that maybe next spring they're going to bring their cubs here to play, which would be absolutely wonderful.